Just standing around.
There you are. All that stands between you and Whitechapel is the villain controlling the borough. Kaylock has demanded you settle the claim for territory in a gang fight.
His loss?
Yeah. I'm sure he can put this to better use than I can.
Oh, what's this, Greenie? Assassin Christmas.
Gather your allies.
Aw, I just want it to be Christmas.
Whichever one of the options under ask.
Why did the prison have a different option than the Sky prison if they're the same thing?
Who wants a prison?
Mr. Rexford Kaylock has agreed to your terms and waits for you at the Whitechapel train station. He's bet his train on the fight.
He bet his train. How cheap is a fucking train that you can just fucking put it on?
No Kaylock. No matter.
Ah, wait, we already won.
There you are.
Threw him off a fucking train. That's awesome.
It appears to be broken.
Oh well. At least we have a train now. It's not all bad.
Hell yeah. Grapple gun, train, that's awesome. You may be wondering why I decided to keep this in the series of Assassin's Creed Syndicate, and it's for a very simple reason. It's that when I started doing games like Assassin's Creed that have a ton of side stuff and are huge sandboxes some of the time, one of the rules I put in place for sandbox games like this that have their boss fights at the end of some of their quest lines is that in order to keep myself from going crazy, we were only going to do the boss fights that are in main missions of the game, not any of the side stuff. So that can get pushed off to some other part of YouTube. I'm not going to do them, because if I did, then these series would be 30 to 40 episodes long with a lot of rubbish in between the lines, whereas now we can cut that down to 14 and it isn't as annoying. But it also shows that just because Rexford Kaylock's gang war is a main mission because, you know, we have to conquer Whitechapel in order to progress the story, it isn't going to live on as anything more than just another gang war that you can do in the game, and one that could have easily been written off as a side quest, because Rexford Kaylock is just another gang leader. There's 7-8 of these guys in the game, and they function completely identically to everybody else. There's nothing interesting about any of them. And other than the name Rexford Kaylock, he's not going to be remembered 5 minutes after he was defeated. because the point of his role in the game was that he was a gang leader, not a character. He could have been replaced with a mannequin and it would have made as much sense. Plus, the gang war mission itself is just a pile of combat, and you just go around and kill completely identical enemies until the game tells you to stop, and that's it. There's no cleverness to it, there's no writing involved, there's barely gameplay design. The only reason why this one is more interesting is because the gang war ends with a fight on top of a train. All the other gang wars in the game that are side missions end in the street, except for Rexford Kaylock, who had the smarts to run away when things weren't going his way, and Jacob had to catch up to the train and then kill him on top of that. That's the only thing that makes this different. That's the only thing that makes this interesting. And even so, Rexford Kaylock goes out like any sort of brute you could find on the street. He's exactly a brute enemy type. There's nothing that's differentiated about him, nothing that makes him stand out. And this really just feels like a boss fight we're doing just because the game told us to, and not because we were interested in killing him or had a reason to, or that it was actually a fun stand-up fight that you would remember. It's just Rexford Kaylock. You kill him and then you move on. And that's the worst type of a character for a boss fight. If you're not going to do any sort of character design or writing, then you have to step it up with your gameplay, and if you don't do that, then you get Rexford Kaylock, the completely identical fight to any sort of random jackass you can find on the Sandbox streets. There's nothing more to say about it than that. It's a completely zero-effort set piece that is only really here as a tutorial to Ubisoft's gang-conquering mechanics. He's just a means to an end. Not a good end for him, but an end to this mission line that we've been doing to conquer Whitechapel. And finally it's over, we can move on to something more interesting.